Temple last night. Boy, it was one of those places that's scary to go play a ball game, but you got out of there with an overtime win. So, you know, wins are wins. Let's talk a little bit about that Temple game.
Well, I don't think we were quite ready for what hit us. You know, it's hard to simulate the way they play, and I mean, they take the ball. They're kind of unorthodox. I mean, they just rush it down the floor on you, and we were half a step behind. Evidenced by the fact that I had everybody on my team sitting on the bench with me with 2 fouls in the first half. You know, a foul's a mistake. You know, they beat you to a spot. You're a half a count behind on everything, and you know, that's what we were faced with last night. Everybody in foul trouble. I think we played probably 12 guys in the first half. You know, just to try to, you know, hold on for dear life and what have you. But you know, hopefully we can learn a lesson from that. You know, I told the 3 sophomores, Terrence, Devontae, and Yannick after the game, I said, make no mistake about it, we should be happy we won. That's what we did, come down here to do that. And if this was the last game of the season, who cares? But I said, I mean, hopefully you guys all recognize that we did some really silly things tonight. You know, in this game we shot bad shots. We didn't block off on free throws. We threw the ball away unnecessarily. You know, we did everything in the world to put ourselves in a situation to allow them to hit a last-second shot and beat us, which we allowed them to shoot a last-second shot, which they shouldn't even been in that position. Thank goodness they missed it, and then we go to overtime and we win the game.
That becomes a trick to these teams that like to rush the basketball up the floor. One, you talked about beating people to spots, but I think you got to kind of have that in your head when you get going. Otherwise, as you said, you get beat getting back, you get a cheap foul somewhere, you didn't want to pick one up, and unfortunately, it's just like winning streaks. One thing leads to another, and then you force shots, and things start to roll. It's tough to get the brakes put on that sometimes.
Well, we couldn't do it. I don't think we ever did, really. They went through a period in the I think it was in the first half. They probably went the last 5 or 6 minutes of the half, and they couldn't buy a basket. And it enabled us to get ahead. And we should have been ahead even more. I mean, Devontae got stripped, you know, with like 15 seconds to go in the first half for just no reason at all. I think we have a 4-point lead in the ball, and they just took the ball away from him and go down. And now we're going at halftime up 1 instead of up 3 or 4. But you know, we just weren't sharp. I mean, it was a difficult trip. We had a long day yesterday. A lot of things that some people will say maybe contributed, you know, to this. But hey, you know, it's all part of it. I mean, no day is perfect, and you know, you got to fight a whole lot of things. And sometimes it's not just your opponent. Most of the time, it's probably yourself. And we did just enough to win. There are 2 teams that have traditionally been good. Came down here and found the task a little more difficult for them this year than I think any of us expected. But we played really good in that weekend. I think particularly against Northeastern Colorado. North Lake is a Division III team that is always very strong in the national rankings, and a little mismatched against us, but. You know, all in all, it's a good weekend for us. Well, we probably have 5 or 6 wings, and the luxury that I have is if one of them's not doing so well, that bench is a great motivator. So I just take him out and put another one in, and you know, there's not a lot of separation as far as being able to do this or that, whatever. Yeah, Kendall might be a little bit better shooter than the rest of them, but Rod Lawrence is starting to shoot the ball well. So, you know, there's 2 guys that can make some open shots and what have you. Some of the other guys bring some other strengths to the equation. So, but if they're not on top of their game, you know, for whatever reason, then you know, it's a nice luxury to have. Okay, here you go in, and let's give somebody else a shot.